happening. We been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. It's a steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Dropping in, we been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. It's a steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
Supposed to stop sharing. What's going on, y'all? Heavyweight Bros is in the building. We are here for episode 73. We almost had 100 episodes. It's crazy. We almost had 3/4 of a century. This is kind of crazy.
Wild.
We in 2 quarters, 2 dimes, a nickel, and 3 pennies. What's up?
Wow. Say that again.
I was gonna say, we in 2 quarters, 2 dimes, a nickel, and 3 pennies.
Nah, I think you got too much.
What you mean? That's 73.
Oh, okay.
2 quarters and 2 dimes. That's 70, and then 3 pennies is what you got?
Nah, I think you said 2 nickels too.
I think I said a nickel. I mean, you can see I got a B- in math. What up, all that? It wasn't an A, but I was up there.
Because he be adding up the wrong numbers.
Right. The teacher was like, "This answers be wrong." So, good thing you speak English well. That's why I'm on a podcast and I'm not in finance. But anyways, I am your host, the diabolical diabetic, the 5XL. Nah, the big nasty, and to my right is the high yellow hitman, the freaking Deacon Coach Buck. Uncle Raisin, what's happening? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm happy to be potting as usual, man. It was a good week, subtle week, you know, day off. It's freezing cold outside, so the kids stay home, you know what I mean? Shout out to the homie G Head. He got my BHM t-shirt order in, you know what I mean? He posted that on IG, so I'm pretty hyped about getting them shirts together, you know? Doing a little thing this year where I don't put no names on the shirts. I'm just going to wear them, force the kids to do the research of the people that's on my shirt, and whoever figures it out.
Are you going to put the quote on it?
Nope. I want them to find all that out. And the first one that brings me the most valuable information, that as if they learned something from what they seen on my shirt, I'm just buy them lunch or something like that. Pretty dope.
That's solid.
Yeah. How about you? How are you doing? It's like, what are you doing?
For the community? Not a damn thing. First of all, I'm mad as hell, bro. I just came from the grocery store and bought the carton of eggs. I was like, is this payback for all the stealing that I've been doing in this month? This is crazy.
Check out.
Yeah, listen, man. You can say whatever you want about the stimulus. Ain't no stimulus been better for me than the mask and the self-checkout combo.
Oh my goodness.
That's the Kobe and Shaq in my life, boy. Like,
listen.
And then whatchamacallit, I was like, I scanned them eggs and I was like, y'all trying to get y'all lick back, so I had to hit them back right back. So I was like, I left with a pound of beef and a pound of ground pork for the free ski. You know, I had to. I got my skincare products.
I'm not buying eggs until eggs go back down, man. I'm listen.
You better off buying the chicken at this point. That shit crazy. That joint is wild, yeah.
I'm not. Listen,
that's what I'm about to do with my tax money.
I'm about to buy what's the eggs that come in the carton? You just pour them out.
The liquid eggs. Just egg whites.
Right. Y'all get it together. You'll be all right. Yeah, you'll be all right.
But I was like, I know that we're not really digging in the crates, but I was like, we just finished bumping that Ice Spice like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm all.
You don't want to give a quick take on that?
It's TikTok rap, bro. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what to do with it, man. I feel like I was like, as soon as the album came on to a stop, I was doing this the whole time.
The Jason Kelsey?
Right. It's like,
you thought I was killing you?
Right. I'm trying to get sturdy the whole time through the album. It was like, I don't know, man.
Well, the album's only 13 minutes, so like, there's that. I was like,
right. I felt like I was in a trance or something. Like that joint was not for me, man. I'm sorry.
I feel like the producers on it were pretty solid right up until I got to the Bikini Bottom song. It's like that's when it loses me. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I could have found something better to do with 13 minutes.
But I know that was just real quick, but I mean, we could dip right into the...
Oh, wait, real quick. Ed Sheeran's rapping, though?
Yeah, man, that's that boy E. Sheer. What you mean?
I know it was like a little tribute to like his homie or something like that. Like, it's like, I forget his name, but he's like in a soccer stadium and the kid's name is spelled across the back of the stadium. And it was just like, I didn't know how to receive it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have an up or a down or in between. I'm just gonna leave it at I didn't know how to receive it.
I mean, like, you gotta rank him like the way you'd rank any rapper. Flow?
I mean, I don't know if he... I feel like...
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Flow?
I'm going down.
Bars?
I mean, I don't want to disrespect the bars because it's about his homie. So
I don't give a damn. Like, if you came on track and like, yo, this is for my dead mom, so you spit trash, like that shit's still trash. I don't care what it's about. That was like,
I'll say the bars was good, man. It's for his homie, man. He knows his homie.
I remember
well,
when
okay?
When Logic had came up with the song about the suicide hotline.
Oh no, I didn't hear that one.
It was like, yo, like it was a big deal. It was a big song, like at that point in time, and it was like the hook of the song is the phone number for like the suicide prevention hotline.
Yeah, he's wilding.
And Joe Budden hated the song,
he's
right?
wilding for that.
Because he was just like, yo, like da whatever, and it was just like my whole thing was, and people were just like, oh, but like you got to think about what the song's about, and I was like, this shit's still trash, whatever it's about. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Like,
Thank you.
Just your subject matter does not make your song bulletproof. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you still have to be like on there.
I like that. Your subject matter does not make your song bulletproof.
Yeah, like just because like it's about like, oh, like my wife had a miscarriage, so I'm gonna make a song about it. And it's like if the bars sound like Bikini Bottom, like it doesn't matter. Like it's trash.
I guess so. I'll give him a good C plus.
So he's just he doesn't move the meter.
Yeah.
Does he are you still alive?
I mean, there's some stuff in there, but I figure it's about his homie, so it's like truthful. Like he was pouring his heart out.
Not everybody could be J. Cole for Your Eyes Only. You know what I mean? Like not everybody could do that.
Right. It's just I don't know, man. Just Ed Sheeran was rapping. It was. I didn't know how to receive it.
Stick to the shape of you, man. Stick to stay in your lane, Famo. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't come over there trying to do your stuff.
Right.
Don't come over here trying to do.
Right. Like I said, he's standing like in the middle of like a soccer stadium and he's moving around. I'm just like,
When he started doing like this, I was just like, oh, he really thinks he's in his bag.
Yeah.
He's in a Chipotle bag. Anyways.
Like third take, and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm feeling it now. Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
If he started off the track, he's like, yo, this is from my dead homie. Thought I was feeling you. Like,
Oh, no. Moving on.
Wake me up. Into Insomnia Hour. Where we heading first? Where we going?
We're gonna go ahead and get Will Trent out of the way because that's what I did this week. I got Will Trent out of the way. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. It just this last episode, I fell asleep like midway through, and I was just like, "Yep, this is not the show."
I didn't miss anything.
I didn't miss anything. I did not miss anything. It's literally like the show's super repetitive. I'm pretty sure it just started, so it's going to get to the point to where they have callbacks from other episodes and stuff like that. But it's just basically something happens. He figures out what everybody else can't figure out. There's a quick plot twist, and it's not an exciting plot twist, and like.
We're at the point right now too where like, we're kind of struggling for shows, and you telling me that like even while you're struggling for shows, you don't want to watch this show.
No, I literally started rewatching the Boondocks, so I would have something to watch in between other shows coming on. Huey and Riley and Grandpa not gonna let me down.
R.I.P. Will Trent. What else we got?
Next we have Godfather of Harlem.
Okay.
I'm still locked in. It's on the uptick, man. It's on the uptick.
Yeah, talk about it. What happened this week?
Oh, well, I don't want to ruin it, but
isn't that kind of what we're supposed to be doing?
Well, I guess so.
Or are we just telling people every week, yeah, keep watching it?
Yeah. So this episode was
You can just give a base synopsis.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So it's Bumpy's trying to get like his presidents of like trying to be the black owned business that still keeps going after the mob. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like we can compete with them, we can do everything that they're doing, but it's like at every other corner he's hitting a roadblock or there's something that's going on. So now he's getting into cahoots with I want to say he's Colombian. I can't really remember, but like he wants to partner with this guy so that they can continue to compete with the mob, because with his source of drugs that come in, it helps Bumpy not have to go to the Italians, and then they can end up still owning Harlem and competing against the mob. His one counterpart from the mob is now currently in prison, and his daughter's like the reason for that. It's pretty crazy. And I think the most important part of this episode is it details. I remember I told you last time they were like really getting a lot bigger with Malcolm X's character.
Yes.
They did have the character change. He's doing okay. It's just for the eyes, it's kind of tough because you're not the person that was there last season. But in this episode, it details him going on that his Islamic voyage when he went to like the city of Mecca, and it shows some details like I didn't know about, as far as like him not first being let into the country because he was the ambassador told him he could come, but then they were like, no, there's certain things you got to do until then. So like he was like literally on trial out there, not like in front of a judge, but they were like, you have to stay in this one place, which was going to be prison until somebody said you could stay with me, who happened to be a white man who was of the Islamic faith. And I guess they're like trying to document where Malcolm X was having that turnaround of understanding like this religion or this walk is not just for black people. Like there's all people of all ethnic backgrounds that are following the Islamic faith, and it helped him to like have a new understanding. Like I'm pretty sure they detail it in the movie with Denzel Washington as well, when he's like in Mecca and he's looking from left to right and he's seeing that there's people that look completely different but they're all under one faith. So I think it was pretty dope that they made sure to put that in the episode as well. And then going forward they still get with the action. You know what I mean? So it's a lot going on. So it's both entertaining and educational.
Okay.
I'm digging it.
If you are looking for a show to watch, like P-Valley is still available, bro. That's 2 seasons.
I'm watching the Boondocks.
I'm just saying. That's going to run out at some point, too. You know what I mean?
I mean, but it's the Boondocks. I could always just restart it. It's 4 seasons.
Fair enough.
Next, we have Your Honor. Are you not caught up? Or you have not been watching it?
I'm not going to catch up, bro. I'm not watching this show.
Goodness. All right,
just you can do whatever spoil you.
Right, so I'm just gonna go spoilers right away.
I am not watching this. I am not watching this show.
Your Honor. All right.
I do. I really do.
So the new stuff that's going on right now, right, is so you have the lady I'm terrible with names, but the black lady who's like the head of her gang, she was like supporting the Kofi kid.
Okay.
When he shot Your Honor's son and all that stuff.
Your Honor's son.
Yeah.
Not right. You could call him Walter White and it'd be better than just calling him Your Honor.
Your Honor's son. But
whoa, we just got some breaking news, bro.
What?
I know it's not sports talk right now. Kyrie Irving has requested a trade from Brooklyn Nets right now.
Oh shoot, we'll get to that.
We gonna save this?
Yes, we are.
All right, we'll
I
save
don't know where he's gonna go and what is gonna call. He requested a trade.
You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here.
Wow.
Please keep talking about Your Honor while I research it.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so in Your Honor,
I give a fuck about this show.
Yeah, this is crazy. So. So the black lady is she's trying to buy a bar downtown, which is across from the other mobsters bar, and that's probably going to be the feature of this, is like how they go back and forth with each other, because now they're not trying to sell her the bar, and the other ladies found out that she's trying to buy the bar, so spitefully the wife is trying to like buy it from underneath her, so it's going to cost her more money. And between all of that, the Kofi kid who shot the son,
I really hope you don't think that I'm paying attention to anything that you're saying. You talking to them, not
I need you to give me this attention right now, okay?
I'm reading about this Kyrie Irving
Don't
stuff.
worry, you can do that in between breaks.
Go ahead,
okay?
go ahead.
All right, so the Kofi kid was supposed to...
I'll tell you what, while you're talking, I'm going to look up the cast of the show so I can tell you who these people are.
There you go. All right, so the Kofi kid that shot the son, in order for there to be an agreement for her to get the bar, he had to get murked. So her like right hand man, she was like, yo, find the kid, turn him in so that we could turn him into the white folks so they can do whatever they need to do, try and buy jury or bullets, whatever it's going to be, so that we can make this happen. All right. So that's not what he does. He gives a man a grip of money, puts him on a bus and moves him like further down south or somewhere. He tells her that he got away and he doesn't know where he's at. So it's like, okay, whatever. So she loses her drug supply, so he has to find a new drug supply for her, and it happens to be this guy that's in the same town where he stashed the kid. So she sends him down there with a bunch of money, and because the white chick is trying to buy the bar from underneath her, the guy's like, well, she was going to give me 10% above market value, so if you give me that, I'll still sell it to you. So she calls dude, was like, yo, bring me back my money. He was like, I can't bring you back the money. I'm about to buy all this weight from dude, and if I tell him we're not making the deal, this is going to go really bad for us. So his cousin was the one who hooked him up with the plug. He told him, like, yo, I'm bringing the money back. Him and his cousin get into a fight. The Kofi kid is with him, watching the money in the car, like as his like other man, right? Police are at the coffee shop while they're fighting. They go through the window of the restaurant they getting food from. Police show up, arrest both of them. Kofi kid walks off with the money and dude's phone. So the episode ends with him with this bag full of money. Like it's like they were literally about to buy like 20 keys. He has a bag full of money for 20 keys, bro. You could do the math. And as he gets to
quick maths,
right? So like he got to like where he was staying at. He throws the bag on the bed, and he opens the bag and sees all the money, and then the phone that he grabbed from his friend, because he didn't want them to have his phone, starts ringing, and it says Big Mo. That's her name, Big Mo. And he's just like, yo, where's my money at? What's going on? But he's in jail. He has his bag of money. The episode ends like, what's he about to do with this money? Another plot twist is...
What do you think he's about to do with his money?
There's one of two things he can do. He can run, but that would be whack because then you have no more content for the show, which is what anybody would do. I'm just going to dip with the money. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to bring it back to Big Mo and just be like, yo, protect me. I know I was on the run. I know you didn't know I was alive. This is me showing my loyalty. I got your money back to you. Let's rock out. Your homeboy's in jail. I need to be your guy. So I think that's the way it's going to go. We'll see. The son that killed the Kofi brother in jail is out.
Eugene.
Yep. And he's like all over Walter White's boots and like, yo, I've been in jail. I know what time is like. How'd you get out early? Because remember, Rosie Perez got him out early. So he's just like, something's fishy's going on here.
Listen, man, your lawyer ain't a beast.
Right.
We know how this works.
Right. So he's just like, something's going on.
Somebody bit the cheese.
Right. I want to know what's going on. You know what I mean? And the plot twist there is that he's been around the family more because the daughter of the mobster dude that was with his son got pregnant and had a baby. Yeah. So now, like she's like, I want to see you, and he comes over, and she was like, I want to see you so you can meet your grandson. And the grandson's name is her brother. Her brother's name Rocco. His son's name Adam, and then their last name Baxter. So it's Rocco Adam Baxter. I was just like, plot twist. And my bad. So the way that episode ended was they showed the coffee kid in the room with the money. And then Walter White goes to visit the daughter because she couldn't sleep because the baby was crying. So she goes to use the bathroom. He's keeping an eye on the baby, and the baby's like cooing. I think that's the word. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, there's somebody standing behind Walter White. It's the other dude's dad, and they're both standing there looking at the baby. Then they look at each other, and then they look at the baby again. And I was just like, where's this gonna go? So
his name's like Jimmy, right? What's his name?
The mob boss.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes from there. I feel like these last couple episodes or these next 5 episodes have very strong potential. You may want to come back to it. All right.
Tell you what, if Kyrie stays on the Nets, I'll watch an episode.
I'm going to hold you to that because they're not going to be able to off this man by Wednesday. I don't know. You should have thought about that one.
He literally said on there, he said, either trade me by the deadline or I'm walking in free agency, is apparently what he said. That was the ultimatum that he gave.
Oh, this is last year of his contract?
Yeah.
All right, walk in free agency then, fam. There's nothing I can get for you. Because no team is going to take you.
I love the fact that Kevin Durant stuck his saddle. But just keep going. We got to get to the NBA stuff. What's the next show?
All right. Next one is Mayor of Kingstown.
All right, we both watched that. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 shows that I watched outside of shows that we watched. So I do want to get to those real quick. They are both animes. Okay. But they were both really.
Can I guess what one of them is?
Go ahead.
Vox Machina?
No, I've already seen that first season. I know the second season just came out, but I did not watch it. Did you watch it?
No.
Oh. The first show that I watched is called The Ranking of Kings.
Okay.
And it is about this king. It's pretty much very Game of Thrones-ish. Okay. There's a king who's on his deathbed, and he has to decide one of his 2 sons is going to be the new king.
That's definitely Game of Thrones.
Right. His firstborn son is born deaf and mute. And he's very, very small. Okay. So everybody's very much worried about the fact of him becoming the new king. Okay. The other younger son is able-bodied, able-minded, and it's like he is like a bit stronger, stuff like that. So the father passes, and then they have to decide. So that everybody's like, yo, he's the oldest son. He's supposed to be the king. When it comes time to come crown him, they crown the other kid instead. Oh, okay. And I wish I could get into more of what happens because there is a lot of twists and turns that happens in the show. It's only 24 episodes. Okay. It is a wonderful journey. I laughed and cried so much and got so hyped during the show. Okay. Because there's so much dope stuff that happens that I'm pretty sure the main kid's name is Boji. I might be naming one of my kids Boji because I love that nigga. I love Boji.
Get a dog or something and name the dog Boji. Don't name the kid Boji.
I'm getting Joel the Third. I'm getting Jiraiya, and I might be getting Boji. That's what I'm saying. Like yo, like I was
Let
like
the nickname be Boji or something.
Like I'm telling you, like I'm watching it, and I can't tell you, like I'm in my living room by myself, and I was like, "That's right, Boji. Show me who you are, Boji." I felt like Angela Bassett in Wakanda Forever, like, show them who you are. That's how I felt watching this. I was like, yo,
Not the AB.
I was like, do not play with my
the AB.
Do not play. Put some respect on my man Boji's name the whole time.
And
that I was
where do you
watching
watch this on?
It's an anime.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm pretty sure it's on Crunchyroll. So like,
Okay.
but I watched it on one of my little appy apps.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? WCOfun.net if you want to watch anything animated. Anime.
Wow.
Animated movies. WCOfun.net. All the animes, all cartoons, all the stuff is on there. Do yourself a favor. Watch Ranking of Kings.
Okay.
The second show that I watched is a little bit older, but I've seen it on a bunch of like top anime lists and stuff like that. I think it came out in like 2016. It is on Netflix, and it is called Erased, and it is only 12 episodes long, 20-minute episodes.
You said it's on what?
Netflix.
Okay.
So it's like it's only 12 episodes long. It's pretty easy to get through if you want to. But it is a murder mystery show, and so there's this kid. His name is like Shoji, I think his name is, and it's like I say he's a kid. He's like 29 years old, and he has this ability where whenever something is going to happen, like some sort of like traumatic thing is going to happen, he sees like it's almost like a butterfly. So it's like when he sees it, he knows it to tell. He's like, oh shit, something is messed up, like right now. So like he uses that to kind of like stop certain things from happening. Like for instance, like. He notices like that happens and like he notices like so he looks around and he's like, yo, that guy that's driving that car fell asleep at the wheel, and it's like so he could go and wake that person up so that way they don't kill anybody or do anything like that. But what happens is he winds up stumbling onto this guy who's trying to kidnap a girl. And like he stops it from happening without like really realizing like what's going on. And, like he inadvertently stops this kidnapping, and because of that, the kidnapper then returns and kills his mother and frames him for the murder. And like he gets framed for it, and like what ends up happening is his ability sends him back to 1988, like literally back in time, because he's like, yo, why am I here? And it's like because there was a kidnapping that happened back in the day at the same time that like he could never figure out like what happened. So like he gets sent back there to try and stop this kidnapping of this girl he knows is going to get kidnapped. But he's a 29-year-old in like a 10-year-old body, and like yo, it's a wild show. And like first of all,
sounds like Umbrella Academy.
Sure. Like it's a little bit of a rough thing, but it's like it's kind of like any butterfly effect thing for the most part, where it's just like, how can I solve this thing that I know that's going to happen without causing so many ripples?
I'm just thinking of butterfly effect when they cut Ashton Kutcher's hands.
Oh yeah. I'm mad that you already had your hand in your sleeve. But I was like, yo, first of all, murder mystery show, check. Your boy is obsessed with time travel and traveling back in time and like doing things different and like being like, oh, what would I do differently like at this time? This show could not have piqued my interest more at this time. It got really dark, like the things that he sees or has to go through, because like at the end of the day, like yes, they're kids, but it's like they're literally stalking like a serial killer. So like, you know, and stuff like that, and it's like without spoiling, like all the stuff that I'm talking about like literally happens in the first episode. So you're getting all that in the first 20 minutes. So like that's the premise for anything, but like the highs and lows and the dips that it goes through, fantastic show. It's called Erased. It's on Netflix. Only 12 episodes, so like it'll probably take 4 hours out of your day to get through the whole show. Okay. Which isn't like too bad. I think you should definitely check it out. But we're on to the next show, which is Mayor of Kingstown.
I've been watching Vinland Saga too.
trash this season so far, bro. That joint is hella butt cheeks. It's one of the main reasons why I hopped into these other animes because I was like, why is this so booty cheeks?
Very disappointing. All right,
I was like, I don't know who this new dude is, but I could not care less about his brother. And then like by the third episode, I was like, he's still around. I thought we were gonna kill him.
Right.
I thought once we got to Thorfinn, we were gonna kill this brother off, and he didn't.
Why is Thorfinn not out here fighting right now? What is going on?
What is happening?
Yeah, we're not gonna waste time with that.
I don't want to watch retired anime characters. It's not my flavor.
I don't.
It's not my flavor.
Retired anime.
I don't want to watch AARP Goku like going on like that. No. I want you fighting for the world.
Not the retired anime. All right, so we got Mayor Kingstown. I don't know what to say. Like I'm blown away by the show.
Go for it.
They are not waiting to get to everything.
They are getting a shaking every episode.
Every single episode is wild. Like you got Shorty that is back with the dude who escaped.
Milo.
Yep, and he threw.
I don't know what her name is because I don't care because she annoys me so much.
She's an idiot anyway because he threw her right back in the poorhouse.
Could not.
He was like, "No, I do care about you. I do care about you. Now get back to work."
Yeah. But like what I also care about is my money.
Right.
So.
Right, and now you trying to get back out of what you didn't want to be in the first place, but you went back to. It's wild, crazy.
Sounds like just women in general.
Are you?
Sorry.
That's.
You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want.
Heavyweight Bros episode coming soon. Heavyweight Lovers coming soon. All right. I know you're probably not caught up, right? That is what you said.
Why'd you have to say something though?
I mean, because I know
I was gonna rock with it. Like I saw that.
I know when I don't do my homework, we make it very clear that I did not do my homework. Okay.
There's 3 episodes out. I watched the first 2 episodes. I am 1 episode behind, but I'm more than willing to get into this conversation.
Are you sure?
What I just say?
All right. Okay. Just make sure. All right. So I'm pretty sure where you left off is where
they just
they took the heads of every gang
and they brought them into the prison to pick new leaders.
Yes, to pick new leaders and get stuff together. All right. The problem with that is that like, oh, so you have, I don't want to ruin the next episode for you though.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to call it and just say watch Mayor of Kingstown?
So I'll do like if you watch the trailer for the next show type thing. All right. So basically,
just give me the whatchamacallit. Like if you really don't want to be spoilery, just do the thing where it's like if I was scrolling through the channels and I pressed info on what this info.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So so basically, what's happening in this next episode is Mike is basically still trying to keep the cops from not ruining this whole treaty thing that he's getting set up.
Because they're the ones that are really messing up.
Yes, they done raided black dude's crib. So like he's upset about that once he finally hears about it in prison, and he keeps having these offsetting meetings in the prison with Mike, and he's like, "Yo, you asking us to do what we're supposed to do on our end, and again, your boys is not doing so."
Which is what happened last.
Which has happened last time. He's like, "Yo, I don't even know like how far our relationship goes. You need to get me up out of here because I'm doing exactly what you asked me to do, and you can't control your people. You're asking me to control mines, and you still not controlling yours." And the issue that the black dude is having right now is like, in the prison, every time somebody tries to become a leader, they're getting off. Right. Guess who is the biggest target in the jail?
All 4 of the leaders that you just brought in there.
Forget all 4, just the black dude. He is literally the most prevalent leader in there, and everybody's licking their chops like the hyenas looking at Simba when he just came home. Like, yeah, fam, it's about to go down. We super hungry. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
because what's that cold bar that he delivers when he walks in there?
When he walks in, he's looking at everybody in the ice grill, and he's like, "Oh, y'all looking at me like you don't realize you staring at the devil." I was just like, yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. How has his brother not been in other stuff, man?
I don't know, but like,
if they did another Biggie movie and he played Biggie, would you be mad?
Nope.
That's what I'm saying.
Nope.
I feel like every scene that he's in, he's killing it.
Definitely not, because he's definitely killing it. So right now, he's going through the ringer right now, bro. Because like I said, he's got some loyal dudes in there, but you also got them dudes that's trying to be the guy. And if somebody can off him, who knows what it says for their name? You know what I mean? Because that's basically what everybody's trying to do, is they trying to make their name off of somebody else's name. I am going to spoil one thing for you. There was a random D-Smoke sighting in this next episode.
Please tell me he doesn't speak Spanish.
No, he's not speaking Spanish.
Because like that's the one thing that kills me about this brother is like I get it. You can speak Spanish. You don't need to speak Spanish every time that we see you to prove the point. I get it.
I can't remember if you spoke Spanish.
He might have spoken Spanish.
I know when you watch it, you gotta look for it now. You'll let me know.
And the second that I see him, I was like, this, because he's gonna come on and be like, hola, and I'm gonna be like, God damn.
No, I don't think he spoke Spanish, but he's like basically the leader dude's right hand man while he's in prison, and he's helping him work stuff out and everything like that. So he does have a couple loyal dudes with him, and him and the other, like I said, the other head bosses are doing what they're supposed to do, but Mike's not. You know what I mean? So he is.
Mike's not.
Mike is, but the cops are not. You know what I mean? So they keep doing dumb stuff, and that's basically where they're at right now. And I'm wondering if he's gonna even be able to get them out the way he said he would.
Don't do that.
Huh?
I said, don't do that.
Well, there's new laws and statutes. They got a new prison that's being made to combat the whole tent city situation. So there's a lot of moving pieces that Mike is not in control of, because usually the stuff that he manipulates is stuff that he can control or people that's in his pocket. There's some new people that are coming in that he does not have in his pocket that could ruin what he's doing.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure out all these bodies that are out there. Not everybody is president accounted for.
Right.
If they're gonna be like that and they're not gonna let be like legally we can't do this isn't or whatever, you better find a way to sneak these boys up out of here.
Right.
They're intense.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing to whatchamacallit to be like, yo, these are part of the bodies.
And these are your guards. So he did tell one of the guards there, though, he was just like, yo, nothing needs to happen to this guy, because whatever happens to him happens to you. And the dude was like, what do you want me to do? He's literally the biggest target here. And he was just like, if something happens to him, it happens to you. And I'm pretty sure Mike, I don't want to say he's bluffing, but it's just like, I have to say something. All right, so say something happens to him. What you gonna do to the guard? Like,
you don't think Mike knows some boys?
He's not going to do something to the guard, though. You know what I mean? He's not going to do nothing to the guard. So he's probably meaning what's going to happen is you might find yourself in the middle of another riot. And you see the way y'all came out of that. Like, you don't want to be the guy.
What's going to happen is he's going to go to the other people in jail and be like, yo, that's free lunch right there. And he gonna wind up with a nightstick in his ass, too. That's what's going to happen.
You did have the one dude from early in last season, remember, that where the shorty stabbed him up with the pencil. So you never know.
That's what I'm saying.
You never know. So it's getting pretty turned up. It's getting pretty turned up.
This season has it does not ease into the season like most shows.
They're not waiting for it. No reason to.
That's what I'm saying.
No reason to. They started with it. They going on with it.
Does this make you feel any different about the show Hawkeye? Watching Mayor of Kingstown?
Very much so.
You enjoy
I told you before, if this was the Hawkeye that we got, it'd be so much more entertaining. Which is also concerning because I know Jeremy Renner. Is that his name?
Yeah.
He had the whole snowplow incident, so I don't know what that means for like future shows of Hawkeye or Mayor of Kingstown.
If I'm not mistaken, he's on the mend,
or
at
Avengers
least.
And stuff like that. But he had like 80-something broken bones.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I think he almost had to get his leg amputated. I don't know if he did or not. So it's just like, it's a long road to recovery, and a lot of these movies have to start being shot soon as far as like the Avengers stuff.
But like that's the whole point of the Hawkeye show, though, right? Where it's like now Kate Bishop's in there. We don't need Hawkeye anymore.
I guess.
And it's like you probably will show up in one of these Kang movies as like, oh, like the original Avengers are here, and like you know what I mean, type of deal. Like that's what I'm assuming. Like that's the whole point of like this new changing of the guard, anyways. So that way, we don't need to bring you in as much. Like it does have much more of an impact on Mayor of Kingstown because it's just like unless you write that into the show like some way somehow, like something happened to Mike and now he literally like can't get out of bed,
right
type of deal, or like now I got one leg and stuff like that, like you know what I mean. But like I don't think they did amputate his leg.
No, I don't think they did either.
Right.
So
but Mayor of Kingstown,
Hawkeye of Kingstown, we wish you speedy recovery.
Start at 5.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. And last but not least, we have The Last of Us. You are caught up on this, right?
We are caught on that, but that is not last least.
Well, okay, with the fingers in my face.
What? You talking about that MTV, the challenge, bro?
Oh, listen, I didn't know if you was caught up on it because I know there's people that you watch the challenge with, and I know I just be watching.
They can be challenging, but we got the challenge in.
Oh yeah.
So we're in the final now, bro.
You're definitely in the final. Definitely in the final. For you guys who don't watch the challenge, basically like all those other shows like Road Rules or
We've done a synopsis on the challenge. I don't think we
Big
need to do all that again.
Brother, like all those shows. Survivor,
Real
like
World.
Real World.
I can't believe you said Road Rules. That's the show that hasn't been on TV forever.
Forever, right? But there's still people from that show on there. You know what I mean? So they take people from those shows and then they compete in all these crazy wild joys. Kind of like a new Fear Factor.
I
if I could say.
I think that's underselling it. Like I feel like this is like American Gladiators mixed with like all that stuff, and like as of right now, it's like one of the more like most popular sports. Like there's like basketball, football, baseball, soccer, the challenge.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like it's up
well,
there.
they giving out $1 million if you win. They're giving out $1 million. So, yep, they are in the finals. There's 4 teams.
Yep. Right before the final, the last, they always say like you don't want to be the first person gone, but you most certainly don't want to be the last person gone.
Bye, Faisal.
Yeah. Johnny and Nani done took out Mariah and Fessy. I refuse to call him Faisal. And if I was on the show, I would purposely not call him Faisal.
Yeah, listen, I love when people from Big Brother go home. I don't know why. It's just so satisfying.
You felt that way about Casey too?
Yes. Yeah, especially when her and Faisal was on the same team together, and Faisal was trying to push her, and she rolled her ankle, or blew her knee out, whatever it was. I was like,
I think she ended up tearing her ACL.
Yep.
I think that's what happened.
Sure
like,
did.
Because like he rolled her out some rocks. Like,
Sure did. I'm like, And then who's old boy? The one, oh man, the super emotional. He's like 6'5" crybaby. Why I can't remember?
Josh.
Yes, like deuces.
Man, like besides Casey, like Big Brother people do not fare well on this show for the most part.
Right.
And like I remember Casey's actual season of Big Brother. Like she was good all the way through. Like she ended up winning and so on and so forth. I never watched Fessy's season. I do remember Josh's season. But anyways, Johnny and Nani wind up taking out Fessy and Mariah.
Yep.
You've been very, very critical of Nani before.
She came in. Homie Leroy a championship.
She came in clutch in this episode.
Yeah.
In that episode.
Oh yeah, caught the little bar between her feet.
She caught it with her toes.
Word.
I was like, this is crazy.
Where was
that
like, Nani for Leroy?
Man, I already told you, like I have ups and downs with Leroy too. Like,
Shout out to Leroy and Cam growing their family, man. Happy for y'all.
Leroy and Cam fam.
Yes.
They'll be back. I guarantee you, they'll be back.
They will be. They will be, and they're going to tarnish people's.
I think they're going to tarnish their own legacy.
Leroy said this was his last time, man, so he may not come back, man.
Yeah, but when them bills come due?
Nah, man, he got a barbershop now and everything, man.
When them bills come due?
Remember, Cam won. She got a little grip of money her last time on the show.
So did CT won a bunch of times too, and he kept coming back because them bills was
Well,
due.
I think when you come on the show, even if you don't win the million, like if you're a repeat character, you still get paid for coming back on the show.
Well, that's any reality show. Like, there's a stipend for being on. Like, they don't.
Yeah.
Like, no one's on the show for free the whole time. Like, you get. But like, as veterans, I think if you do a minimum of 4 challenges, because I want to say it's like $5,000 a week for being on the show. But then like if you're a veteran, I think it bumps up to like 8,000 to 10,000 depending on how popular you are.
That's what's up.
So that's the reason why we keep seeing like the Anisas, the Veronicas, and stuff like that, because like they're just popular, so they just keep coming back.
Right.
But like in Bananas, like 7-time champion, he's gonna keep coming back.
He's goated.
But like we're in the final now, and Tori and Devin are out to a huge lead.
Yep.
Nani and Johnny are
the
right
last
behind.
player on my fantasy challenge team.
Is he?
Yes.
I actually thoroughly am enjoying Devin this season because like I feel like
it's not the Devin of old.
But at the same time, it is, and it's like I just feel like he's found his niche better.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, like I feel like
he's not evil politician. He's democratic politician.
He's transitioned from the West mold because that's kind of like what he was. It's just like you're just the new West,
right?
But it's like now it seems like he's. First of all, he's upped his social game, number one. And then number 2, it's like, I noticed that... I
don't think his social game was bad before. I just think people just didn't like him because of the way he carried himself.
I think, when he challenges people, because like that's the thing, is like there's going to be a moment where someone's going to say something and he goes, no.
Right.
And then that becomes like a bigger thing where he doesn't care about coming off like an asshole on that.
Right. And before it didn't satisfy him because he wasn't good in eliminations because he wasn't physical, he wasn't fast, and he's been working on all of that.
But he eliminated Johnny that one time.
That's why I said he did. Yeah, he did.
He called him out.
He got lucky.
I don't think so. Them lights. He was on them lights.
But yeah, Devin has been an impressive candidate.
But I've noticed now, like when there is a strategic decision to be made, people come to him instead of him having to come to people.
Facts.
Where people are like, hey, like, this is what I'm, or they'll say, what they say is like, the second that he walks into the room, they'll be like, now we already know you got some things cooked up. And it's like, he'll be like, he'll be like, what do you guys think? And then like, they'll say their thing. He'd be like, that sounds good, but what about this? And then like, they're always like, and it's just like, it seems like his intelligence has come into play much more. So like they have the first challenge.
The guy who always wins Monopoly.
So they have the first challenge where they have to get on the exercise bikes.
Yep.
And like immediately he's just like, I'm not going to beat Horacio, Johnny, or Jordan in this thing. So he tells Tori, he's like, listen, it doesn't matter. This event is not timed.
Right.
I'm going to take my time doing this. And he eventually finishes right behind everybody else anyways because they burn themselves out or whatever. He's like, I'm saving my energy for the next thing, which they then have to run and they have to get the tires and then they have to figure out like how everybody left or like the order in which they left. And it's like he has a moment with Tori where she's just like, no, this is it. And he keeps looking at it and he doesn't say anything.
I wrote it down in my notebook.
Yeah, I wrote it down. And he's looking at it and she's like, and then she gets pissed off. She's like, why do you keep looking at it? He's like, just hear me out real quick. I'm pretty sure this is this and this and this. And she's like, oh yeah, you're right. Because like old Devin.
I like when he looked at her and was like, but you wrote it out of your notebook?
Because old Devin would have been like, no, I'm right. And it's like, instead he's just like, like, come on now, hear me out.
Hear me out.
And because of that, wilding. They're in a huge lead.
Yes.
I was going to say closely behind them. It's really not closely behind them.
No.
But I would say these two teams are closer behind each other is Horacio and Olivia and Johnny and Nani.
Yep. And they formed the alliance with Johnny and Nani, so Horacio.
And like, Devin breaks it down to Tori pretty eloquently. Yeah. It's just like, yo, listen, like they owe us one. Whether they pay us back or they don't, they owe us one, and then we can then use that against them if they don't want to pay us back. And he's like, he's laying it out to her. She's just like, damn.
Let's get past all of that and get to the juiciness. All right?
Go ahead.
Because of their alliance, poor Olivia got her face broken open.
First, she got her hand split open.
Yes.
She was throwing the bolos? What do you call those? Bolas?
Or whatever you call them, yeah. But you got to throw it onto the joint, and it tore her hand open because of the way she was holding it. So she had to get her hand stitched up while they was drinking this nasty stuff. But then, ultimately, they sabotaged them because they're not going to sabotage Jordan and Anissa because that's Tori's.
Plus, they're in last place, and everybody's kind of like not worried about them.
Right. So they have to shoot 2 balls at a target, and because they sabotaged them, they had to shoot 4 instead of just 2, and and
Horacio gets his off the rip.
Whack, whack.
And it was just
so did Devin and Tori. It was like 2 shots.
Yeah, that was insane.
Up out of here, but he was dope with it last time.
Whatchamacallit, it took Johnny and Nani quite some time. And he was telling that to Tori, too.
Right.
He's like, don't worry about it. Nani's not going to get it on the first go.
Right. So Olivia goes to set back, and I'm looking, I'm like, all the time I've seen people shoot this, I've never seen a ball just hanging there. I was like, so I'm thinking it's going to fall out. They're going to get mad, start arguing, because that's what they've been doing. Nope. Worst possible thing could ever happen. She let that joint go, and it kicked back and smacked her right in the head. Like, this is like a full body mechanic slingshot. It's not like if you know what a regular slingshot is, this is
and that can do some damage too.
They pulling back with 2 hands. And that it's like, imagine shooting a rock at somebody's face with a regular slingshot. She has a full body slingshot with a golf ball in it. And
so that's what we were trying to figure out is like, how big is this ball?
It's a golf ball.
It is a golf ball, right?
It's a golf ball. So that joint kicked back and popped her right here. Yep. And I was just like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. And she goes, I think my nose is broken. She grabs her face and mad blood starts falling. I was just like
flying. That joint broken.
So I don't know if it was or it wasn't.
When it believes like that, your joint is broken.
But they showed her afterwards, and she had the stitches here, and she had mad black right here, and I was just like, it was crazy. And because she was out, Horacio was out, which is I thought they could have won this joint. To be honest with you, I thought they could have won this joint.
Horacio's been one of the most impressive rookies I've ever seen.
Yeah, but her joint is split. So hopefully, when she gets home
But you live or die. By your ride or die.
By your ride or die. And it was a wrap. It was a wrap because she home. I felt bad for Horacio. He was like, yo, listen, I'll do double the work. Just let me be in here. Like, she'll be back. Like, he's like, nah, man, sorry, I can't do it. Like, I've never seen like
the producer
come out. Like, she came out, she's hugging him, she's crying with him. I'm like, yo, I ain't never seen this before. Like, oh shoot. Like, I almost felt like he was supposed to win until this freak accident happened. I was like, we gotta go off script.
Yeah, right.
Like we didn't know Shorty was gonna get her face busted open. Like I can't remember the last time I've seen somebody like actually like shed blood like that. Like it was crazy.
It was pretty crazy. Well, Nani almost died this season because of Olivia. Don't forget about that.
Yep.
She knocked her off the thing.
Yeah, and I know in the All-Stars joint, Shorty like fell in the water the wrong way and her nose was bleeding, but she didn't have to leave the competition. They just like plugged her nose and she was good.
But I think in order to run the final, like it's just like we're doing too much. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we're literally putting her at risk if we do this. Which Olivia also, like Horacio is an impressive rookie. Olivia is a very, very impressive rookie, like as well.
Definitely.
Like she is somebody that, like, in future versions of the show, like if you were able to pick, like you get your pick of your female companion, she's got to be in your top 3, top 5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like you know what I mean?
I think it changes the show going forward too, because if they're still in it, Devin or Bananas, if their group wins, they can just keep sabotaging their rookies, and it's almost like a burn vote when you win stuff. But
they're not gonna do that.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, like, as they continue, they could have just kept sabotaging the rookies. That way they don't have to pick Jordan and Anissa, and they don't have to pick each other and break their alliance. But now that they're gone, whenever somebody wins the next thing, you have to either pick Jordan or Anissa, or Johnny and Bananas, or vice versa. So it's going to get real chippy these next few episodes, and I already see Jordan on his Jordan-ish.
Which, yo, I don't count them out at all. Like, I feel like everybody else is like...
As soon as homegirl busted her face open, you in third place now. You're not in last no more.
I feel like everybody did the thing, though, where they're like, we're not worried about that because, like, Anissa's weak or whatever it may be.
Right.
But, like, Jordan had said to her at one point in time, he's like, this was the endurance part.
Right.
And he's like, we just got through this.
Right.
Everything else up in here, like,
You're gonna mess
we're
up
pretty
unless-
confident.
yeah.
And it's just like, and I don't...
And shout out to Anissa because she's, you know what I mean?
She's sticking it through.
Yeah, she
It's-
is.
It is...
She's my Leroy.
I do think like it's an interesting case study, right? Like if you just look at how personalities work with each other, and for all intents and purposes, they shouldn't work together. Like, you know, Jordan's very abrasive, he's very confrontational, he's all that stuff, and Anissa is not very confrontational, but at the same time, she does not shy away from competition.
I mean, she used to be the confrontational person early when she first was on the show.
Yeah.
She's a different person.
And that's the thing is like she's like, I know you didn't talk to me like that type of person, or like the don't get her started type of deal, but it's like they have kind of balanced each other out, but it's like you can kind of see. So there's 2 instances in this episode where I was just like, these people aren't reading the room correctly. One of them is when Nani and Bananas are on the bike and he starts like whipping her with the shirt. And like, dude, I get it. You're trying to be funny. You're trying to do this. Clearly she's not with us right now. And if you know Nani, the last thing you want to do is get her to the point where she just goes, you know what, I'm done. And it's like, you're whatchamacallit. Like he was towing that line. You know what I mean? And it was
I think he was just trying to get her close to that now so that it doesn't happen later. I think he was very...
You can say that if you want to. I think he just felt like being a dick at that point in time because he was bored. And then I think it was. And then...
Stop being so soft, Nani.
And
Stop
then-
Nani caping.
And then the other part is Anissa rolls her ankle.
Yep.
And Jordan's giving her shit about her rolling her ankle. It's like, yo, push through it, do this. And she's like, stop talking to me. I get it. I understand what you're trying to do. Like, you've inspired me before. You've hyped me up before. I get it. This is not that time. Shut up. And like now he's just like, oh, now you're blaming me. And now you're doing it. And it's like, dude, I get it. You're upset and like all this other stuff, whatever. Stop talking to her. Just keep walking. Check in on her every couple of minutes. Something like that. Shut up before you do set her off. And then she does, and something does happen.
If you had to pick somebody who was going to win, who's it going to be?
I think it's Tori and Devin, like hands down. Like I think that Tori's the strongest girl, hands down. And I think Devin can do all the other stuff he might be the worst physically, but he's the best puzzle-wise. And like we know that there's a puzzle coming up at some point in time, and all this other stuff. And it's just like as long as he can hang around, Tori will keep him going. Because like who's the weakest links? They're Nani and Anissa. You know what I mean? And it's like if we're going by who's the strongest guy, it's probably Jordan. But it's like he has the Anissa anchor.
Between Nani and Anissa, who you choosing?
And I'm running a final.
Yes.
So like they're telling me that I'm getting ready to run a final, and like my option between my partner is Nani or Anissa.
It's not playing. You know you're choosing Nani.
I think I'm choosing Anissa. If I'm keeping it stack.
Smart man. Smart man. Smart man.
It's not because Nani's bad. It's just the things that first of all, I think that I could talk to Anissa.
When you're with Nani, you lose.
Anissa's never won either.
I mean, listen.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? Listen. Like she has the meanest streak of not even making it to finals.
Yeah, but so you can't really say that because she hasn't been in a final. But now that she is competing.
My God, you're doing the LeBron James thing right now, where it's like it's better to lose in the first round than lose in the championship.
I'm not saying
no. That's what you're doing.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you can't judge her based on finals if she's never been in a final. But she always goes home right before the final.
I never make finals, but you make finals and lose. That makes you worse than me because you lose in finals, but I don't even get to make it to the final to lose? Because I lose before that.
No, we're not doing this.
What are you talking about? It makes sense.
I'm not doing this. Everyone who's with Nani loses.
Everybody who's with Anissa doesn't even get to lose because they lose before.
Casey in a relationship with Nani and she went home right before the final. Y'all better watch it. Sorry, bananas.
Listen, Corey was with Anissa at one point in time. What did Corey win? Think about that.
Yeah, but Corey's like a 92 though. Nelson.
Corey's a Nelson.
So no. Nelson is the byproduct of Corey's 90-ish.
I'll tell you what.
Nelson was doing great until he got on that phone call with Corey. The next episode he was gone.
I'll tell you what though. Just about Nani in general, and this is why Nani's a good teammate. And I pointed this out towards the end when we got to the final, the final elimination, and everybody was like, "Bananas hasn't been thrown in," and they're like, "Why hasn't Bananas been thrown in?" And I was talking to my brother, and I was like, "Yo, the reason why they haven't been thrown in is because of Nani. Like Nani does a great job of her social game, especially with the girls, and like that is the conversation that they have. Is like, who do you want to throw in? Everybody except for Nani. I want to throw everybody in except for Nani. Listen, I don't care as long as Nani's safe. So you keeping her around is just keeping your social status and your floating to get to the final. So that's why you want Nani. Like she does the social aspect part of it, and she can do endurance stuff. They're literally in second place right now.
Okay.
What is it that Nani's not good at or can't do?
I'm not about to do this.
That's all I'm saying. Which I know that we're running. I know we're running very long on this. Yes, maybe we should save this until.
Yes, we are.
And I was gonna say we'll save this for the actual final. But I was just wondering, like, how well do you think you would do on the challenge? But let's get that. We'll talk about that on the final. And like, let's move on to the last show, which is the last. You're bugging. But go ahead. Last
thing except for that endurance stuff, them runs and them swims. Everything else, I'm good.
The runs and the swims are the biggest part.
I know.
Listen. If it's a swimming challenge, Joel got you.
Hey, TJ, how about this? Do a fat guy challenge, all right? Do a fat guy challenge. No. Oh, shoot. All right, forget it.
Yeah.
All right, The Last of Us.
Swimming challenge, your boy got you. Puzzle challenge, your boy got you. Eating challenge, your boy got you. Memory challenge, your boy got you.
I can swim, fam.
Endurance and running challenge.
And I can swim well.
I'm not saying that I got over you. I'm saying that like these are things that I got.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I will do well on all of those.
But I was like, you best believe we're gonna be taking the Anissa route on these runs.
The memory joint might be a little.
That's way up here. I play Sudoku one time. Like I got you.
Sudoku's not memory though.
No, but what I'm saying is like there's always a challenge that's Sudoku-ish.
Yeah.
I can't remember stuff. Ashley. I think her name was with the red. Like,
yeah.
That was her thing, and she was like, "Oh, I body this every time because like I literally play
Sudoku all the time." Yeah.
But The Last of Us.
Go ahead.
So we got to stand.
I was about to say, I know you watched this.
We did. I did.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. Right.
So we did get like a standalone episode.
Yep.
It's about the character Frank, who is a loner who like is.
I'm not calling him Frank. I'm calling him Ron Swanson.
We can do that.
Because I feel like if Ron Swanson, from Park and Recreations, if y'all never watched it, but if Ron Swanson was in the zombie apocalypse, this is how Ron Swanson would be. Right.
I think that's why they chose him to be Frank.
Right. This man had his savory meats on deck, his wines, the scruffy beard. Yeah. This man had mad weapons all over the place. I'm like, Ron Swanson.
So Ron is a shut-in / he's kind of like he's a survivalist.
Yep.
So like when the outbreak happens in his show or in his town, he stays in his basement. He does not evacuate with everybody, and immediately decides to go to work. And he sets up barriers around the town. He sets up traps around the town. He gets the power going. He gets.
This man was going to Lowe's and leaving with a boat full of stuff.
Yeah.
Not a boatload. Literally had a boat and a truck full of stuff from Lowe's.
And like he started his own farming system, his own irrigation system, stuff like that. So we get to
and turned the heat on.
That's what I mean.
Turned the heat and natural gas off. He turned all of it back on. This man's like, I could shower all day. Like you got a whole state of people not showering,
and it's like this all just
all
for
me.
moi.
I'm good. I'm about to take a shower for 2 hours.
He has his own routine that he does every single day during one of his runs. A guy winds up getting trapped in one of his traps. He eventually lets him out once he finds out that he's not bit. He forms a relationship with this man. I wish I could remember what
I thought his name was Frank.
Maybe his name is Frank.
His name is Frank.
So we'll go with Frank and Ron. I was about to say Juan.
Juan Swanson.
So during this, he brings him back to his house. They have dinner. It winds up coming up that Ron is homosexual, but like he has never actually done the act with anybody. Him and Frank wind up having sex. They then get into a romantic relationship, which lasts for the most of
20 years,
something like that. Yeah, it's like 20 years.
I want to say 20 years.
Yeah. During that span, you find out that one of the people that he's been reaching out to was Joel and Tess,
which is the radio communication, which was pretty dope.
But at the same time, it was pretty shitty because, like, you remember in that first episode, he goes, "You still haven't heard from them?" And they're like, "No." And it turns out that's because that's Ron and Frank, and like because they did not make it. But we'll get to there in a second. And he, as much as he does not like Joel, he gets a respect for him because they realize that they both have the same mindset a little bit, because like they're both with partners that are a little bit more optimistic than they are when it comes to meeting new people and things of that nature or whatever. But like when we fast forward time a little bit, so there is a raid that attempts to happen, and Ron winds up getting shot. We get a fast forward and we see one of them in a wheelchair. We think it would be Ron because he got shot, but it's actually Frank
because he has cancer.
Is it cancer or is it MS? It was cancer, right?
I want to say it's cancer.
Because he does say something like, we don't have an MRI doctor just running around.
Right.
And stuff like that. So, like, I want to say it is cancer, but he has a debilitating disease.
Right.
And, Frank's trying to tell Ron, is like, listen, we're going to have my last day. I've decided that I want to have my last day. This is how I want it to go, and I want you to be able to move on. And they go through, they have this, really great day. They end it on dinner where Ron is supposed to crush up all of his meds and put it in their drinks, so that way Frank passes away in his sleep. We come to the realization where we find out that Ron has actually already crushed up some stuff, put it in the wine, so this will be both of their last nights.
Right.
And we don't get the reveal of what happens, like in how they died or stuff like that. We just know that they did, but we get Joel and Ellie stumbling upon the house where Ellie reads the letter, which has his final words in it. He tells them, "Do not come upstairs. You don't need to see that. I've opened up the window,
right,
so that way it doesn't smell.
Yep.
And whatever's left is yours."
Right.
And begrudgingly,
also said, "I never liked you.
I never liked you, but I respected you." It's I'm pretty sure what he said in there.
Right.
And begrudgingly, literally everything that they need, they have not only the truck battery, they have the truck, they have supplies, they have guns, they have all this stuff.
I would take the boat too, just to take the boat. Like, you never know. You never know.
Just greedy, right?
No, I'm just saying we might need to get out on this water, man.
If you play the games, you know that you definitely do. So
like a zombie clicker whale that's gonna come and eat us, I'm all set.
But so the episode ends where Joel and Ellie now have the truck that they've been looking for, and now they are on their journey.
Right.
Any thoughts on this episode?
Well, I liked Ron Swanson. Like, I think it was dope to see him there. Like, I couldn't get over the fact that it was Ron Swanson. Like, I felt like I was watching like an apocalyptic episode of Park and Recreation. So I was just like this is literally everything that he would do. I did think that I think the fact that they held that space down, just the two of them for 20 years, was kind of weird. Because I feel like when you're watching like Walking Dead and stuff like that, there's no way that it's not like gonna be like a Negan crew of people that's not gonna show up and take this town away from.
They tried.
Y'all.
They did try.
Yeah, it was like 5 dudes.
yeah, but like, how many realistically, like around the town, like, how many people are really bunched together?
Right,
like
right.
the whole town's not gonna come for them.
Right.
You are gonna be in like. I was gonna say a gang, but you'd be like in a pack of people.
Right. And
like
it wasn't a lot of zombies either. Like I was expecting there to be more zombies that they encountered. But I get it. Like he really held it down. I want to see where the episodes go from here, because I know like driving around with a truck full of guns and food, like you are an open target, not to just zombies, but anybody who's struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming things are about to get really hard for old boy and the little girl. So
do we want to do the differences between this and the game?
Well, I did see a clip where like the dude Frank was like hangs himself in the game rather than them being together. So I don't understand what happened there, because I don't play the game. So you can go through that.
So the game is a bit different. First and foremost, like they don't come outright and say that they are in a relationship with one another.
Right.
But there is heavily implied that they have been living in this town together for a long period of time. So like when you get to this town, like Joel tells Ellie, like at this time, is like, we need to go talk to this guy because we know this guy can get us a car battery. And he's been to the town and stuff like that, but like he's like, the town is heavily booby trapped. So like not only do you have to maneuver around the zombies in the game, you have to maneuver around these traps that are set all over the place. So then when you do run into Ron, let's call him Ron, he's very much like he knows who Joel is. He doesn't like him, but he's like, I need you to get the hell up out of here. And he's like, yo, listen, I need a car battery. I need a car battery. I need a car battery. While they're talking, something ends up happening where he's just like, all right, you want your battery? There is one over here, but you have to help me do this. And also, my boy Frank had left here a little while ago, and I have not seen him and stuff like that. So, like, while you're doing the game, you keep coming across like these letters that like they're writing to each other. And it's like a lot of like, hey, like, I'm sorry, like I yelled, come back, like you're so this, and so on and so. They're very much like going back and forth. You stumble upon Frank and he's hung at that point in time, and it's like you have to be the person to then deliver the news to Ron, like after you get the battery and stuff like that, and he's just like, damn. And then but like it just so happens like at that moment, because of I think they were restarting the power. I think that's what was going on. But when you restart the power, all of a sudden like a giant herd of zombies wind up coming. So then like you have this thing where it's like, yo, we got to get up out of here. We got the truck battery. We got to put it into the truck. We got to start this truck. We have to defend this truck. And then like Ron is kind of just like, listen, I lost Frank. It is what it is. Y'all take off. I'm gonna hold this down. And it's like that's how he goes out like in the game. So it's like it's very, very different. But I feel like the feelings itself are conveyed in this episode, and I thought it was a really, really well done episode, because like I do think that like that's kind of the things that are like missing a bit in like a lot of these bigger scale stuff is what happens to the regular people in these situations. Like we talk about like the Marvel movies, right, where it's like when Thanos snapped all these people out, what happens to like all these people that all of a sudden got snapped back?
Right.
Like,
I've seen a video about that too, where it was like people don't think about like people who are on planes,
and then you get
or working in a building, or
that's now you're in the walls,
right? Or like you're right,
Yeah.
right. It's like there's a lot of people that probably came back into some type of gruesome death.
They talk about it in was it WandaVision? Or it was either WandaVision or Black Widow, where there's people who moved on and got into new marriages. Like, what do you do when you've moved on in a new marriage, you have a new baby, and then all of a sudden your old wife comes back that you thought was dead? Like, how do you move on from that? Or it's Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was one that really tried to delve in on that. You know what I mean? And it's like the smaller scale stuff is interesting, and it's like yes, we don't need 6 episodes of it, but taking the time out to have one episode, because like it was very like I felt it. I was like, man, this sucks. Like living like this sucks. But I was like, how much did it suck before you met Frank? And it's like having a person to share that with, and then it's like coming to the realization is like I'm about to lose this person, and then it's like I'm gonna go back to being alone, and it's like I'd rather just not be here than be alone anymore. And it's like it's a really, really beautiful, touching way that like it went down. I thought it was extremely well done. I think it's one of the best I don't want to say one of the best episodes, just like period, but it's like I can't think of a Walking Dead episode that made me feel that way. You know what I mean?
Glenn?
Yeah, but Glenn is like somebody smashes his head open. Like they don't have like a real moment with him. Like you know what I mean?
Nah, fam, that Glenn episode was touching.
First of all, they did the whole thing where it's like you didn't know who got hit, and then in the beginning of the episode they kill him in 5 minutes.
Yep.
We spent the lifetime with these dudes.
Yep.
It's a little bit different.
I guess maybe if I played the game more, I would understand more.
I don't think the game had much to do with it. Like you know, so I just thought it was a really well done episode. Like I said, it's very different.
I think what it is that it came earlier than like Walking Dead. Like you said, you spend a lifetime with these characters, and then they finally offed one, and you were just like,
yeah, that's I guess you say that you have an attachment
right
to it, but it's like I guess in 60 minutes, like the attachment level that we built with him, it's impressive.
Right, and Ron Swanson is a very rememberable face. So to see him for a whole episode,
crushed it, bro.
Gone,
he crushed it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ron Swanson for president.
I love what. So like, there is one thing to talk about though.
Okay.
And it was just like, have we still not yet figured out how to show gay sex on TV? Because I was like, why is this so weird? Like, why did they make it so long, but then also just so weird and awkward? And I get it's also supposed to be like the deflowering or virginity scene, and like those are always weird, like regardless of who it is that like those scenes happen with. But I was watching, I was like, they are making this so like.
I mean, the only thing you could probably say is that the person who probably directed it is probably not coming from a place of where they can relate.
Okay, I can see that. You know what I mean? It was just like there was just something about it where it's just like, oh, what's the other? Ozark? Remember Ozark had like the gated cop and the dude who was like one of the Langmores. He was like it was like in the first season, and it was like he winds up dying.
Oh yeah. One of the uncles, right?
Yeah, and it was just like I remember like it was like their foreplay would be like they would start fighting like shut up man I hate you, and then they'd start making out, and I was like, do they think that this is how gay people like have sex and stuff like that? Because like that's not.
Hey, listen.
Like you know what I mean? But at the same time, like we are just in the presence of a very intimate moment. And stuff like that, because like they're like you know like the way he's holding the blanket and like all this other, I was like why is this so weird? But then he runs his finger through the chest hair. Like that was the only thing is I was just like this is like a smooth 8 minutes, and I was like I don't know why we're taking so long on this. Like I was like it doesn't need to be all this, but it's just like
I mean, it's probably somebody who can't relate but didn't want to be disrespectful and get canceled. So we're like, we're going to give you enough time, but not too much time, and then we're going to keep the episode moving. I think that's what they did.
I think it might be the best episode of the season so far. And that's saying a lot.
I mean, I think that goes for every episode, because I feel like every episode keeps building. Every episode keeps building. So, like I said, I can't wait to see what next episode, because I feel like the action about to start getting popping again.
Oh, I know where it's going. It's definitely we get.
Yeah, he said, "I know where it's going."
Like this game did not shy away from getting it shaken, and like I know there's some characters coming up, and me and my brother, when we saw the trailer, we saw this character, and we were just like, we immediately went.
I looked at the class. I see some black people coming up too.
That's the people that we're talking about.
Black folks,
and I was like, yo, that was my man's in this game. And I was like, I already know, like, if
some black people coming on the show.
So,
like, all right.
I mean, it sounds like for the most part we're thoroughly enjoying all the shows that we're watching.
Yes, we are.
Last of Us is number 1.
Okay, I can go with that.
Mayor of Kingstown is number 2.
I can go with that.
Our number 3 is
for me right now is Godfather of Harlem.
I'm not watching it, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt with that. And by giving you that, I'm then going to put Ranking of Kings underneath that.
Okay.
Make sure you guys go watch that.
Okay.
So then the question is, what comes next? Is it Erased or is it Your Honor?
I don't watch Erased, so I would have to go Your Honor.
So Erased, then Your Honor. So our starting five this week is The Last of Us is our star player, Mayor of Kingstown, The Godfather of Harlem, Ranking of Kings, and Erased. And on the bench is Your Honor, where the judge belongs, on the bench.
Oh, I see what you did there. We're gonna end on that.
We'll see you guys on the next part for Popcorn Poppy.